It's a recently lit room, so we shouldn't lose any sanity here. We might be spotted easier though. Maybe that hides us a bit more. If he comes here. The monsters usually only break scripted doors if they're in a small area, or if they see an player. Daniel. There's one thing I wanted to talk. What I saw from the concept art, the Daniel is a really big, strong lumberjack. But every time I hear a Daniel, I can't help but to think a scrawny archaeologist from Stargate. So I'm imagining that kind of Daniel just trying to survive against monsters, which is a bit more believable, like the one hunking, muscly man who looks like he could beat up a grunt. I think the monster's gone. It's gonna be a pain if it isn't, because we're gonna redo the section. But you're not going to see that anymore. Don't see movement. Now what was over here? Dead end? Yes. In excellent condition. That won't break. Now we need to get back to the kitchen. Keep that door open in case of a monster spawn. Hands are ready in Control and F.
This? Why? I mean, why? What did I do to deserve this? I mean, it can't be. Do I deserve this? It wasn't my fault. Why did he have to go in there? Don't go into burning houses. He should have known better.
Another makeshift hidey hole. When I say makeshift, I really mean makeshift. Oh look! A naked guy. How much here? Spawn monster, please. Crap. Now this might actually spawn a monster.
3rd of August, 1839. I feel like I have fled the world and all its worries. Brennenburg is a majestic creation perched upon a forest-clad hill with towers reaching well above even the highest pine trees. Following the winding road leading to the gates gives the impression of discovering something forgotten, as if journeying with Marco Polo to the hidden Xanadu. Alexander, the Baron, is a peculiar but gracious man. He seems well versed in worldly matters, and is not at all as eccentric as I assumed. My room is exquisite, and I'm confident that no hotel for miles could even hope to match it. As the sun sets on Brennenburg, its fairy tale varnish turns to an eerie gloom. Alexander's strange servants are never far away. They are a quiet lot, and their behavior could only be described as skulking. Alexander seems pleased by my presence. As he puts it, it seems like I got here just in time.
Now let's see if this spawns a monster. It does. So if it doesn't come here to the candlelight, stand is in high condition. Let's presume that the monster doesn't come here. This means that we have two dangerous situations left. One in the kitchen and one at the very exit. The kitchen has acid that we need to pick up, and that eventually will spawn a monster when we try to leave. The other dangerous thing, well, besides the fact that the kitchen's huge, there's very little to hide if he decides to come up again. The other thing is the very exit that will spawn a monster. And that is a forced chase sequence which may result to my death if I fuck it up. And that really annoying. Let's see a monster. Kitchen. Please. No more monster spawns. We already triggered this one. Technically, it used this hole as a hidey hole.
The shadow. It's close now.
Let's presume this goes exactly how it always goes, so... this should trigger it. No? We need to pick the acid first. One thing I like to do here, just for fun, this certainly is acid. And don't touch it, it'll burn you. This should have spawned a monster. Can slide.
4th of August, 1839. The nightmares woke me in the early morning, and for a moment I forgot where I was. Shortly after, there was a knock on my door. Alexander had heard my screams and asked me to join him in the parlor. As we drank our tea, Alexander began to tell me what he knew. It seems like the orb I found casts a long and dark shadow. It's not only a powerful item, but a dangerous one. Simply by touching it, you invoke the powers within, and if you are too weak to control it, it will devour you. The shadow is a sluggish thing, lagging behind the wielder, killing anyone or anything in its path to reclaim the orb. I said I didn't care about its powers, and that I should throw it away. Alexander advised against this, as I'd still be a part of the path to the orb, and eventually suffer death. Having the orb, I would at least have the chance to fight back when the time came. I asked Alexander what he meant when he said he could protect me, and he answered that things can be done, but at a price.
Okay, now, presuming that the monster spawn that we previously triggered was the monster that usually comes here. Because if not, we're gonna be dead. Because there's nowhere I can hide on this hole. Padlock, locked from the other side. Here's a slight problem. I forgot where the exit is. Where it was towards the kitchen. It's not this way. It simply cannot be. Let's backtrack our steps. Slowly, carefully. That's the kitchen. That's a dead end. So let's remember, I came from this hole. Start to head up. I'm really tempted to save here, but I can't even. So I've officially gotten myself lost. That's the exit. And we're out. Welcome to Cistern.
So you used the drain sewers as a means of transport?
Yes, they were built to divert water from an underground spring and are quite spacious. It seemed only natural to incorporate it into the overall structure.
But we won't be using it.
Not today. The flow is seasonal, and when the spring runs dry, the damp tunnels produce a rather poisonous type of fungi. There is an antidote, of course, but we won't be bothering with it today. Come, this way instead. We're almost there.
Should be fine here at the current moment. Lever is stuck, needs to be greased. That's flooded and has poisonous fungi. This one should be locked. Really only have one place to go. I thought that was the solution. Oh wait. There's there. Remember, we can do this. Yep. Really would like a tinderbox so I can save.
Did we find this place?
An old friend back in Algiers gave me a map.
Why isn't he with us? Didn't he want to come?
He wanted to, Daniel, but things don't always turn out the way we planned.
Okay, if I remember correctly, this should be a safe area. It's just a puzzle room. Whether we get chased by the shadow again, that's a different story. Stuck. Underneath this pipe. Oh. So, down up middle. this one keeps going down. There are two ways to solve this puzzle. The first one is to stack boxes here to stop it from going down. But we are instead just going through. Because after all, there's a handle on this side. So it's down, up, up.
Daniel? Is that you? What are you doing?
Are you questioning that why am I here, or are you judging my stupidity? Okay. Pipes. This is how they want us to set it up. We need more pipes. The good thing is the pipes glow. Shouldn't be too difficult to spot it. Hello, oil. So maybe I missed something. I must have missed some. But there you are. My plan is the moment I find a tinderbox, I'll save, because I do not want to do the prison part again. Go. Oh no. Luckily, we got this. I held these few cuts and bruises and heal myself just in case. Fine for now. Fixing this means we got two different paths. Both which have potential chance of dying. first choice is the cistern. Oh, it's stuck. I'll fix that later. Let's go to the cistern. Luckily, it's more predictable area.
You're conserving water from the spring.
Yes, it enables me to control the water in the drain sewers to some extent. Also, it can be used for all sorts of purposes.
Like for drinking.
Well, that too. But mostly to run different machines.
Ah, like water mills.
Exactly.
Alright, I don't have any oil. Okay, you see, the floor is covered in water. Ow. You know what that means. Please be a tinderbox. Fuck, it's empty. Yep, you saw that right.
7th of August, 1839. There is no denying that Alexander puts a lot of faith into what I can only describe as magic. I'm not surprised. Even while traveling across Europe, I assumed I would have to embrace the supernatural to save my mind and life. As a novice, I do everything in my power to stay focused and not dwell too much on my own doubts. Alexander woke me up early and told me it was time we got started on our work. He was obviously excited to get going, and we headed downstairs to the old dungeon, where he preferred to attempt his rituals. It turns out that Alexander is a true Renaissance man, paralleled only by Da Vinci, I'm sure. He showed me several rooms fitted for specific research, such as anatomy studies, alchemy, and botany. The crown of Brennenburg must be the inner sanctum, a most hallowed ground where we shall attempt to permanently banish the orb's shadow.
Alright. Reject sewer water. Spooky. Oh no. I did not come here to die. Okay. I'll be right back. After I get myself up.